everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is April if you're new here, and today we're going over my March wrap-up. I think I finally got back into the groove a little bit. I feel like January and February I've been reading less and less, but in March I read 13 books, DNF'd one. Let's get right into it, and I'll start with that DNF. So I did end up DNFing The Goddess of. This is by Randy Garner. I was really actually super disappointed about this. It was about daughter of a goddess. Her mother basically raised her to be a sacrifice almost to her. She has to use her daughters to break a curse or something like that. And then on the eve she's gonna be in an arranged marriage to a terrible person, she makes a deal with the god of death and curses or something like that. And then that god helps her hide out in the human lands. Most of this book is set in the human lands in modern times, and I think that is why I ended up DNFing it, because once she got there, I just wasn't really interested in it. And it was just moving a little too slowly for me. I liked a little bit of the back and forth between like her going back to her history of what has happened in her family, but yeah, I just kind of lost interest in it. Honestly, I'm really sad about it, but what can you do? One of the first 3-star reads that I had was The Demon Prince by Amanda Agee. I felt like this was just kind of a solid, spicy fantasy romance. This girl is in an arranged marriage with the son of the devil, and they're whisked away to have this forced marriage, arranged marriage. She's a witch, he's the demon prince. Honestly, they hit it off pretty well right away, and I really like the banter back and forth between them. They're definitely fighting this attraction, and they're fighting the circumstances that they are put into. But overall, it wasn't like anything mind-blowing or amazing. It was just a good fun time. So I ended up giving that one a 3. And then I also gave a 3 to Daughter of Darkness. This is by Ali Cole. I remember liking this. I think it was a solid fantasy romance, but honestly, I cannot remember anything about this book. I remember liking the push and pull between the two main characters. He is like some kind of warrior on the other side, and she's always known them to be terrible people who do terrible things to people, so she's terrified of him. Obviously that doesn't end up coming true. He's actually, you know, someone she can slowly like learn to love type of thing, but I don't really remember too much about it. I remember it was a little bit adventurous and it was fun, like the audiobook was fun, but nothing sticks out of my brain for it, so oops. And then my last and third 3-star of the month was Never Fall for a Dragon by Lola Glass. This also, I was expecting it to be funnier. Like, I don't know why I was expecting it to be really funny, but it wasn't. I mean, it was kind of cute. But it wasn't that funny. Basically, this girl runs into this dragon shifter and they both spark a heat in them, like their mating heat gets ignited and they can't be away from each other, and they have to try to like not get together during this heat, so that way when it's over they don't have to be together forever. They can go their separate ways, and it's very difficult to do that. This one was very spicy, but like, I don't know, it just was like a fun, spicy time. I'm glad I read it. I enjoyed that I read it, but nothing about it was like super unique and special, and probably a little forgettable. So one of my first 4-star books was The Book of Azrael. I actually have this one, hang on. This is my Romanticon copy that I literally just got in the mail yesterday, finally. Amber V. Nicole ended up dropping out at the last minute, so her publisher finally sent this along with her signature. This is a stunning edition. There's no dust jacket, it's just the hardcover case. I do kind of wish that it had sprayed edges, just because this was a special edition. Again, the covers are great, they're beautiful, but whoever says, are we over sprayed edges? No, we are not. We are not over. I still want them, especially when I'm paying a bit of a premium for a book. But anyways, this book, The Book of Azrael, I did give 4 stars. So this book is kind of like a modern gods situation. She's a god, he's a god, everyone's a god in this. She is an FMC that is incredibly powerful, and she's an assassin to a god, and then he is the target, basically. There's a lot of duplicity in this. There's a lot of switching sides in this. There's a lot of cool monsters in this. Something about it just wasn't 5-star material for me yet. It was a little bit long, and the hero in here, he's a god who has just awoken after hundreds of years. So he's trying to learn the language because he speaks a whole different language. He's trying to learn pop culture, and as he's doing that, his mannerisms just feel very Terminator, like they give Terminator. He even at one point dons a leather jacket and jeans and a white t-shirt, and I swear to God, if he said "Hasta la vista, baby," he was the Terminator. I don't know, this was fun. It was really fun, very action-packed. I love all the bloody, gruesome fighting stuff. Like, I really do love it. I don't know if I'll continue on or not at this point because, again, there's a lot of like stuff in modern day about this. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the show American Gods, but maybe done in a more like CW type of way. Because it just has a lot of these gods walking around in modern day, and they have a very modern speech and modern mannerisms. And I don't know, I kept thinking about the Terminator and American Gods. That's what I thought about this, but there's also a romance. So I don't know, will I continue on? I don't know. I do really like the book. It's beautiful. I'm gonna keep it. We'll see what happens. And then I finally read Choosing Theo by Victoria Aveline. I gave this 4 stars. This was just so cute and sweet, which is not normally my bag, but I did really love it. First of all, the female main character was abducted by some other bad aliens, and then she's dropped on a planet with these other really nice aliens who have a very matriarchal society. They really lift women up because there's hardly any of them. So the men aliens, the male aliens I should say, actually compete for their hand in marriage. Like, they go to school to be like, they go to husband school, you know, like they go to partner school. They learn how to cook and take care of their mate. And it's really cute. And Theo has never been chosen. He's never been chosen because he has these scars all over his body, and he's considered super ugly to everybody. So when our human female main character sees him, she's just like, oh, those are the most badass tattoos I've ever seen in my life, and you're super hot. So she has to choose somebody because she can't go back home for reasons, and she ends up choosing Theo. They start to form a nice friendship, living together, cohabitating together. Really, she's just kind of biding her time because she has to be on this planet for a certain amount of time before she can go home, or at least escape to go home. But this is really cute. There's also like a dog in here. Like, the aliens don't know it's a dog, but she's like, that's a dog. And it was really cute. So I really loved those portions of it. It was probably just a little too sweet, not enough plot going on for me. There was a little bit of a plot here, but I would have liked it to just like amp up the stakes a little bit. But I think I will in the next few books. There's a pirate alien in this one, and I'm gonna be reading that probably out of order. I really want to read that one. The next book I gave 4 stars to was Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. This is by Nicole Scarano, who wrote The Scattered Bones that I really loved, so I wanted to try another one of her books. This one was really good, really different. It's a Beauty and the Beast reimagining, only it's like a crime drama. So Belle here is a crime scene investigator. She goes to this small town, and she's brought into these crimes of these very gruesome murders where the bodies are set up in a way that's kind of artistic. So it's a serial unaliver situation, and she's trying to solve this murder mystery. She gets teamed up with a guy who's very beastly, and she almost suspects him of committing the crime, but he's just kind of like always at the wrong place at the right time kind of thing, you know what I mean? But anyways, he's one of the suspects. She doesn't team up with him. He's one of the suspects, but she can't stay away from him. You know, he's mysterious. Anyways, I really enjoyed this. I think the audiobook was really good for this. Will I read more of these? She has like a whole series of these fairy tale mystery crime thriller romances. It's not really my type of book, but I really liked the blend of the fantasy elements with the modern day crime elements. It's not like, it's still like dark, so maybe I like darker ones, but I don't know. Again, it's not something that I would gravitate all the time, but I definitely really enjoyed the writing of Nicole Scarano, so I definitely want to try out more from her. Then I read A Thorn in Every Heart by Kate King. This was so fun. It was an adventure. I really liked it. It's another kind of Beauty and the Beast scenario, kind of, with a little bit of a twist. You have a girl who made a deal with the Beast 60 years prior. She ran away and didn't complete her bargain, and 60 years later her granddaughter gets put in her place. She has a one-night stand with a fae who ends up abducting her and taking her back to the fae realm to be the bride of a prince, a very beastly prince. And it's actually her story with this guy who's her abductor. So it's like a captor-captive situation. I don't want to say love triangle because it's definitely like one of those, while she is definitely trying to have this fake marriage with this king, prince, whatever, he's not endgame. He's never endgame, okay? You know that the whole time. What I really loved about this book is the characters are very quippy, very fast-paced, very fun sounding. This whole book is just fun. It's candy, it's popcorn, and I can't wait for the book I pre-ordered with Barnes & Noble. It's coming to me still, but all the chapter headings have a different artwork in the chapter heading, and some of them are pretty spicy. I really liked them. I liked seeing those when I came up to the chapter, so it definitely made me want to read the ebook instead of the audiobook kind of thing. So I really enjoyed this. I read it as an ARC. I think you should read it as well. It's already out. And then I finally read How Does It Feel by Janine O'Reilly. I know a lot of people have been asking me to read this series, and I finally did. I really loved it. It was 4 stars for me. I don't feel like it was slow in any part of it. I really like the beginning part, that's super scientific, where she's trying to like talk about why she's studying these moths or whatever. Like, so basically she had a situation when she was younger where she thought she saw a fairy, and so her whole adult life she's been obsessed with this fairy and she's wanted to find them again. And she finds out that if she follows these moths, that these moths only come out where fairies are. So she goes away, I forget what country it was, some country, and she falls into the rabbit hole, right into a fae unseelie prince who immediately hates her because she's human, and he takes her prisoner, and she spends a lot of time in a dungeon with some other scary things down there. Again, I just think this whole thing was fun, and it has one of those endings that is very much like Metal Slinger. If you've read Metal Slinger, you know it's like a complete 180 banger. It's like your brain explodes. That was the kind of ending that was in this book. I loved it. I loved it, and I honestly do want to read the next book. I really do want to read the next book. I've heard it's a little bit different than the first one, but that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. We'll see where it goes. And then for our Mood Readers Book Club book this month, we read Dare to Be a Duchess by Sapna Bog. 4 stars again for this one. I really, really enjoyed it. I think the writing was really beautiful here. There was a lot to be said about classism in here and the racism in the top echelons of society. And the characters as well, I really loved the main characters and their banter back and forth and their relationship and how their relationship grew. The only downfall to me is that this is really just a matchmaking book, and there really wasn't like a bigger plot going on that much. I need a big plot to keep me super interested in it, but I really loved every other aspect of this book. Like, honestly, I think it was really well done, well written. I would totally read another historical romance from Sapna Bog. And now she has at least one more book in this series, but she actually doesn't write a lot of historicals, which is super sad. I would read all of them. I think she is a beautiful writer. I love her writing. Would read another one. Just hopefully not a matchmaking one. That's all. Like, that's the only thing I didn't like about it, just because I just don't like that kind of thing. I'm an adventurer. I need an adventure. My last 4-star book of this month is Into Their Woods by Ivy Asher. This was so fun. It was so fun. It took me back to those like 90s, 2000s paranormal type of books, you know, like a lot of the Cressley Coles and those kind of things. But this was really cool with wolf shifters. You have a girl who is moving to a new town. She stops at a little cozy small town in a diner, like just to stop and grab some gas and get some food. She unknowingly is abducted and thrown into a forest with a red cape on, and it's some kind of shifter mating ritual. She's bitten by a wolf. She wakes up with some sexy naked guys around her, and she's like, what the hell am I being dragged into? One of my like favorite lines from this is like, what kind of cult have I been thrown into? Or something like that. I can't remember the exact line. But it was so funny the whole time. She knows nothing about shifters, so you're kind of learning a lot about their culture and their community with her. There is also some crime things going on, so there's a little bit of a mystery, like somebody's out to get her. They're also trying to find her abductor, like why was she abducted in the first place. She's mated to a, like, basically the strongest family of wolves who have never taken a mate before, and so she's trying to resist each one of them. This is why I choose. But I ended up really liking this one. Again, it was just one of those my chooses that's super fun. I love the thing with the wolves and the shifters because it makes the like very lustful parts of the book believable in a way, because they are truly fighting some of these natural instincts that they're having towards each other. Like, they're fighting it hard. Loved all the little magical bits in it too. There's a little bit of magic here, and I just really enjoyed it. I definitely want to read the next one. Okay, my 5-star books. There was 3 of them this month. The first one being A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke. This is by Adriana Herrera. This is the 3rd book in her Los Leones series. Loved this one. Absolutely loved it. This follows a female doctor named Aurora. She is trying to just help women in need, not only for basic care purposes, but also sometimes for things that women need that might not be exactly legal. So she has a lot of secrets going on. But really she is just very compassionate and caring and lovely, and I absolutely adored her. I loved her so much. And then there's a Duke who is new in his role, and there's a lot of people just trying to hope he fails. He's also being set up in a lot of ways. So he's trying to find a Duchess, and he starts narrowing down on this doctor. She won't give up her independence though. And so there's a lot of push and pull between them, back and forth. But however, they have this incredibly strong attraction towards each other. This was just a beautifully written book. Probably one of my favorites. If I had to choose between all 3, I still think the second one might be my most favorite, the Sapphic one. This one probably would be a very, 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 very close number 2. And then my 3rd favorite probably would be the first book. But this was just, is so beautiful. I just absolutely loved a lot of what needed to be said about women's care in this. There was a lot of thing about women's rights. If you want to be in a little bit of feminine rage, maybe read this book. If you don't want to be triggered by that, maybe don't read this book, but I absolutely loved it. And then I read Scythe and Sparrow, and I loved this so much that I had to make one of the pet animals in this book named Barbara their raccoon. So I had to make a little raccoon. I did a vlog about making this little guy, but I absolutely loved this book. What a great finale to a wonderful series. I've honestly loved every single book in this series. This one follows Theon, who is another doctor, and he just wants to live a quiet life. But of course, Rose, a motorcyclist in a circus, comes into his life one day with a broken leg and needing his help. He ends up taking her in, and somebody is again out to get her. She helps women get rid of the bad men in their life. It's like her hobby. Again, there is some really classic Bryn Weaver banter in here, really fun, gross situations with food items, and I just loved it, okay? I loved everything about this. I loved the danger, the adventure, and the romance. I just love this whole series, and this one has a beautiful step back. This is the Barnes & Noble edition. And of course it has Barbara in there as well, right there. So, one of my favorites. I just love all these audiobooks as well. They're so good. And then my last 5-star I want to talk about is Forged by Malice by Elizabeth Helen. This is the 3rd book. Yes, it's the 3rd book in this series, the Beast of Briar series. Beauty and the Beast retelling, kind of. It's why I choose. It is popcorn. It is candy. It is a CW show. It is one of those types of books that is kind of a train wreck, but you absolutely can't take your eyes off of. I will admit this book is entirely too long, and if it wasn't for the last third of the book, probably would be a 3-star book, honestly. Probably would be. It was just way too long. However, the entire last half to third of the book is incredibly action-packed, and it just keeps going. I got to a point in the audiobook where I thought it could end, and I'm like, how do I have 2 hours left? And that wasn't a bad thing. Like, I was like, what are they gonna do now? This had a big explosive ending. I really want to read the next one. I've been buddy reading this with Hannah. She's still trying to finish this book. I'm like, would you finish already so I could tell you, so we could talk about this? Because I ended up really loving, especially at the end of this book. Again, definitely way too long, not literature in any way, but it is. This one also super spicy. Like, they're banging all the time. all the time, everywhere. I was like, holy crap. If there wasn't so much plot in this book, it would definitely be considered an erotica, but with as much spice as there is in this book, there is a lot more plot going on, like just a ton of plot. Like, I always consider Fourth Wing a CW show. This has the same vibes. It has those CW show melodrama, like drama for drama's sake almost type of feeling to it, but you can't help but just be enthralled and be committed to it because it's so fun. So anyways, those are all the books I read in March. I read a lot of fun ones, and I was really happy with all of my reading. Let me know what your favorite book was that you read last month, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!